What's the most superficial reason for what you have rejected a woman? I feel really bad about this one. She appeared to be my age, like mid-20s at the time, but she had a cartoonishly thick Minnesotan accent. I couldn't hear her voice without picturing a middle-aged hockey mom that wanted to serve me a salad that was 3 parts jello, 1 part vegetables, and 5 parts mayonnaise. Luckily the first date went poorly anyway and neither of us wanted a second date. Really shitty left turn to get into her apartment complex. Her feet looked like she kicked walls for fun. When I was newly divorced, some friends had a get together where it was pretty obvious that they wanted me to meet a woman they thought I might hit it off with. She was pretty, funny, and into many of the things I was, a very intuitive matchup. Then she started to refer to herself as the queen throughout the evening, and I was done with that. She said 9x9 way too many times. Apparently she had baked a 9x9 cake for some family dinner. Apparently they ate the whole 9x9 cake. She kept going on about it. Kept saying 9x9. I couldn't get past it. Peanut allergy. I love peanut butter and nuts in general, and decided I'd rather eat peanuts than date her. She said even a hint of it after brushing my teeth could kill her. When she ate chicken she put the bones on the table, not on a plate. I broke up with a girl over the way her feet looked and a certain shoe she wore all the time. Something about it just repulsed me, and I still can't quite figure out why. She had the first same name as my sister. She talked like Steve Urkel. Her name was Margaret. She hated any nicknames. My aunt's name is Margaret. I later married into another family and now have 3 Aunt Margarets. Took her to a movie and bought the tickets. Totally fine, just setting up the geography of the scene. From the ticket window, she walked slightly ahead of me and made it to the doors of the theater before I did. Then she stopped, turned, looked at me, and waited. I was confused as to what she was doing. Then, I realized she wouldn't open the door on her own. She was waiting me for to open it. I'm a chivalrous dude, but if you happen to beat me to a door, just go ahead and open it. She ate with her mouth open. Much like a cow, I just couldn't get over the mouth sounds*****. She was obsessed with ketchup. Took her to Five Guys before a planned date, and she got 8 mini cups of ketchup. She straight up dunked the whole fry and her fingers into the ketchup. She would eat the fry and licked her fingers clean right after. It was so appalling to me, I pretended to have an emergency to go to right after. My friends later told me she was trying to seduce me with the finger ketchup licking. I use that memory if I ever have to deflate a random boner. She left me a voicemail after an argument and said I love you more than you can famish. That was it for me. I was 15. She hated Led Zeppelin. I couldn't understand it. I was 21, she was 20. I ordered a beer at dinner, and she got very upset. She said I was not allowed to drink in our relationship. It was a second date. She said choose me or alcohol. That was 5 years ago, and I'm still drinking. This entire comment section is about to sound like a scene-filled episode. She was an extremely bad kisser, like comically bad. So bad it seemed like a skit out of a rom-com. So extremely bad it made me question reality for a second. Another chick I cut things off with was entirely because she'd wake up before me and make noises, like pretending to be asleep. But clearly she wasn't, and she'd make these weird fucking noises to try to wake me up, so she didn't have to lie there awake alone. Finally, after a few days of this, I sat up in bed and asked her what she was doing. She acted innocent. What are you talking about? I said those noises you keep making. I know you're not asleep when you make them. She goes oh, HMM. I dunno, but now that you're up, do you want to get some coffee? I said no, left, and didn't hang out with her again. Bad breath. She kept saying coleslaw instead of coleslaw. She had a really annoying laugh. She was great in every other way. She was cute, sweet, into me. Just couldn't stand her laugh. Baby voice. She wore way too much perfume, and it would literally give me a headache when we were in the same car. She didn't know how to hold a knife to cut food. She held the knife between her pointer and middle finger, so that the base of the knife rested on top of her hand while cutting. She was in her late 20s. She would not stop talking during sex, and I don't mean like dirty talking, I mean like normal conversations. She was too into Disney. She was cool, but I don't have the mental fortitude to watch Disney movies, or go to Disneyland with that much frequency. I didn't like the way she smelled. Her thumbnail was wider than it was long. She smelled like soup. I had just restored a vintage mid-century modern dining set that I was pretty proud of. The first time I had her over to my house she said, "Oh, you know you'd have to get rid of that if you ever got married, right?" Sorry, sister, we are done. She had a messed up teeth to gum ratio. Huge gums and small teeth freaked me out. She didn't eat vegetables. Edit. To be fair to those with sensory issues or intestinal diseases, I get that texture can be a weird thing or they can make your stomach upset. This particular girl simply did not like any veggies because she thought they tasted bad. Like none. Everything I listed. I was baffled. She literally subbed out her delicious hibachi veggies with more fried rice on our date. Cheese dick don't vibe with that shit. So I was dating a lady who I considered to be my absolute ideal. She was super funny, very switched on and all the rest of it. Beautiful inside and out. She ate like a fucking animal. We went out for breakfast one morning and I saw her shoveling baked beans into her face, like they needed to be hidden. Every bite of the meal sounded like she was trying to replicate the last as accurately as possible. As lovely as this girl was, I just found myself put off by the barnyard eating. Shame, really. I also dumped a girl once because she was a nervous farter. I'm not just saying she occasionally needed to fart, but once a double-decker bus went past us and she nervous farted loud enough for me to hear her over traffic. I'd like to point out I was very polite in both of the above situations. I wasn't ready for what they wanted and such. I first realized women could be bad in bed. No noise, no movement, it was like sleeping with an inanimate object. She couldn't spell. Her hair reeked of menthol cigarette smoke. Like really reeked. Total turn off. The sounds she made in bed just sounded so fake. Like maybe I'm good, but there's no way I'm that good. TL/DR. She told me she sometimes eats dog food. When I was a dumb teen, I had a great vibe going with this chick from another country. We would game together, call regularly, banter with each other. Perfect setup for a little fling. And then one day all of a sudden she just hits me with, "You know I snack on dog food sometimes." Literally never spoke to her again after that message, lol.